Welcome to the Ganz CORTROL video training series. Today, we will be introducing you to the CORTROL events menu. This video assumes CORTROL Premier or Global have been installed. From the desktop, double-click on the Ganz CORTROL Management Console icon. In order to enter the CORTROL Management Console, login credentials are required. Enter your user ID, if different from the default ID of admin or lowercase. Enter your password, which you should have created upon installation and setup of CORTROL. Click on OK to confirm your credentials and log into the CORTROL Management Console. Two panels can be found along the left-hand side of the Management Console. The bottom, or Sections panel, lists the topical actions that a CORTROL administrator would require. These sections are Configuration, Events and Actions, Monitoring, and Audit. The top, or Components panel, lists the available functions as they relate to a selected section. Let's click on the Events and Actions section so we can see the related components. The Rules component is where we define how events, actions, conditions, schedules, and mail servers interact. This interaction is defined within the Events and Actions configurator. The Events component is where we define our events, or entities that appear when something happens in our surveillance system. The Actions component is where we define the actions that take place, related to an event that has happened. The Conditions component is where we define a conditional variable that can affect our rules. The Schedules component is where we can define when a rule can be executed. The Mail Servers component is where we define mail servers that are available to relay email notifications. For an in-depth explanation of rules, actions, conditions, schedules, and mail servers, please refer to their respective training videos. Let's click on the Events component and review its functions. The Events component is where we can define what qualifies as a system event. An event is when the CORTROL system or system components' expected normal state changes. Changes or events are used to trigger actions that alert the CORTROL administrators and/or users in some form and/or fashion. Along the top of the Events menu are functions to create or edit an event, as well as indicate the selected number of events. Along the bottom are notification functions for recently added and recently updated events. There are several pre-existing event types that cover central server, disk, global, motion, recording, button, and video-based events. Now that we know the layout of the events menu and the existing event types, let's create a new event. Click on the plus New Event option in order to launch the New Events dialog window. Click on the Event Type drop-down menu. The available event types are Digital Input, VCA, and External Service. Let's go ahead and configure a Digital Input event by selecting the Digital Input event type. Starting with the title, enter an event title relevant to the nature of the event, example, Digital Input. For source, choose the device channel from which the Digital Input event will originate. Click on Change to select the channel. In this case, I'll select the channel for my ZN-NH22XE Pixel Pro GXI box camera. Click on OK to confirm the channel selection. Note the camera's digital inputs must be enabled in the camera channel's properties in order to enable and select the digital input source when creating the event type. For demonstration, let's go to the section Configuration and the component Channels. Select the camera and then select Edit to modify. Select Channels Configuration to get to the channel properties. Next, click on Open Channel Properties. Now, click on the Events tab. Click on Enable Event Generation in order to activate the function. Now that event generation is enabled, we can select Apply and then OK to save. Let's return to our event type now. The Digital Input drop-down menu will list the available input options. Note, some cameras may have only one input, while other cameras may have more. The drop-down menu will reflect the number of available digital inputs of the camera. If more than one input is listed, be sure to select the input that matters to the event being created. From the Digital Input Mode drop-down menu, select the mode for the input. The options for input mode are activated, the digital input circuit may be closed; deactivated, the digital input circuit may be open; state changed, the digital input circuit changes from closed to open or open to closed. I'm going to select state changed as my input event. Select OK in order to save and exit the new digital input event. Now that we have a digital input event, let's go ahead and create one more event. The event we will create this time will be the VCA event type. Click on the New Event option in order to launch the New Events dialog window. Click on the Event Type drop-down menu. Once again, the available event types are Digital Input, VCA, and External Service. Select VCA from the Event Type drop-down menu. Starting with the title, enter an event title relevant to the nature of the event, example, VCA. For source, choose the device channel from which the VCA event will originate. Click on Change to select the channel. In this case, I'll select the channel for my ZN-NH22XE Pixel Pro GXI box camera. Click on OK to confirm the channel selection. Note the camera's VCA event must be configured in the camera in order to select a VCA rule. Due to the depth required in setting up VCA rules, I will forego demonstration here and instead recommend reviewing the VCA videos on our website. Select the VCA rule drop-down menu. The list of VCA rules in the drop-down will reflect the VCA rules you have created in the camera. My camera has 4 VCA rules configured in it: Zone Zero Presence, Count, Occupancy, and Reset Occupancy. In my case, I'll select the Occupancy rule. Once the VCA rule is selected, click on OK to save and exit the event. To quickly review, in creating an event, you need to select an event type, give the event a title, select your event source, and then select the input, rule, or target that will define the event. Well, that completes our training video for CORTROL event menu. Thank you for viewing this video, and keep an eye on our website for more to come.